Welcome to our Not Kona Week GTN show. This week should have been that exciting week leading into the Ironman World Championships, but we're not going to let that stop us. In fact, we've already been enjoying some of that Kona Week fun here on GTN, and today we're going to do our 2020 Kona predictions, should the race have been going ahead.
Yeah, we've also got a triathlete going for a unique running record. We've got a round-the-world triathlon attempt, plus space technology coming to our sporting events. And on top of that, we have more tech. Yeah, Mark is excited about that one. He has found some leaked images and videos of that Scott bike. Plus, there's a brand new watch from Polar.
Now, as we mentioned already, this should have been Kona Week, and we should have been building up for a weekend of excitement for the Ironman World Championships. But we're not. And we've decided to not let that stop us here on GTN. We've been having a great week of Kona fun, and we've decided we're going to go a step further and do some 2020 predictions for Kona. Had it been going ahead, and who we think would have taken those top spots. Obviously, this is all tongue-in-cheek. It doesn't really account for any illnesses, injuries, mechanicals, and so on. But who do we think may have taken those top spots?
Yeah, so we have basically, the three of us have come up with our top three male and female positions. And then we're going to be speaking to Torsten Rad from TriRating. He's going to give his predictions, also in a tongue-in-cheek manner. But we're using him as like the adjudicator, as the actual results.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than Torsten Rad. I mean, he's like the gospel of triathlon and predictions and ratings.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone would know the results, then he would. So, I don't know if Mark's actually got an insight into what Torsten's results are, but we're coming up with our top three for each. And we want you guys to join in too. So, right now, if you add your predictions in the description below before watching the next bit, then we're going to see who's the closest.
Cool. Well, I best crack on then, right? So, on the men's side, here's my predictions. So, I think in third place, I'm actually going to give it to Alistair Brownlee. I think he will have learned a lot from last year. He's obviously an incredible athlete, being Olympic champion and whatnot. I think he may just better it again. He's not quite ready to take that top spot, but he's going to get on the podium. The second spot, undecided here. I felt like it might be someone we weren't expecting, kind of wild card. I feel like the pace that Jan and Alistair and like Josh Amberge are setting that swim, they're just making it harder and harder for like to Lionel Sanders, Sebi to get back in the race. Not to say they can't, but that makes me think it's going to be someone else. So I'm actually thinking more the likes of like Ben Hoffman, Tim O'Donnell. Tim O'Donnell obviously did amazingly last year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Ben Hoffman for this one.
Wow, that is
second place.
Wild card. But you just talking that, you're just making me want to change my predictions quickly, but carry on.
And then in first place, I think I'm just struggling to look past Jan Frodeno. Absolutely incredible athlete, obviously. On the women's side, now I'm probably going to get a few funny looks now, but I'm actually going for Annie Haug in third place. I know she was the winner last year, but I don't know, I just feel like third is where she's going to end up this year. And in second and first, I think it's a battle between Lucy Charles-Barkley and Daniela Ryf. I actually think Lucy might do it this year, or would have done it this year. I'm talking like it's happening. I feel like Lucy might take the win and Daniela would have to settle for second.
Well, I just hope that the pros aren't actually kind of, going to be judging their season on GTN's predictions. Well, Mark, I have just done a quick adjustment on the men's, but I'm going to start with the women's, and I am putting Daniela as third this year, not because her performance isn't going to be impressive, but because I think there's two more that are going to be just pip her. I've got Imogen Simmons in second.
That's a good shout.
She's my wild card, I guess, but she's not, I mean, whenever she performs, she's showing she's a classy athlete.
We said it last year before the race, we're like, this could be really exciting to see how she did, and she did fantastically, but I
that second
agree.
year, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you come back and they've got taken away the learnings, and I think she's going to come back and give Lucy Charles-Barkley a run for her money. I think I've sort of, when looking back at my predictions, gone with who I want to win as well. It's quite hard to predict and take emotion out of it, but I think this is going to be the year for Lucy to stand on that top step. As for the men, I have just changed my third place, actually. I had it as Lionel, and I'm sorry, Lionel, you've just been pipped by Sebastian Kingley.
He did place third last year as well, so.
I don't think he's going to cry about that one, but it was just, I know Kingley having that mechanical last year, and I felt like he was in such great he really looked like it was going to be his Kona, so I think this year would be his Kona. Although Jan Frodeno is going to pip Kingley to second, that's leaving Alistair Brownlee as the winner.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going on the, he's experienced it. Yes, we know he's not great in the heat, but he's going to have had a whole year of training. He didn't have the Olympics to go to this summer, so he's had that time to acclimatise in the wonderful British Yorkshire heat.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to nail Kona.
That's an interesting one, because he has even said a couple of races he's done this year, even the WTS World Champs, he was like, to be honest, I've been Kona training. So that's purely his focus now, which is, it's going to be interesting. Now for Fraser's predictions.
Okay, thanks guys. Now it's my turn to get some picks on the board, and I'm going to start with the women's race. And in 2019, we saw an uncharacteristically poor performance from Daniela Ryf, but I just can't imagine that she would have done anything other than bounce back and take a commanding victory in 2020. I'm also sure that Annie Haug would have been chasing her down hard on the marathon course, but would have just run out of road to defend her title from the year before. And then for my final podium pick, well, I'm going to have a bit of a surprise for you, I think. Teresa Adam on what would be her debut race in Hawaii, who had an emphatic victory on home soil at Ironman New Zealand earlier this year. But what about the men's race? Well, I'm going to go with an Olympic medalist theme, if you'll let me. Now, I'd suggest that Javier Gomez is one of, or if not the most versatile triathlete that we have ever seen. But in 2018, on his debut in Hawaii, he was humbled by the course with a relatively poor, by his standards, 11th place. So I just can't imagine that he wasn't going to be coming back ready to get it right this year. And for that reason, I'm going to go out on a limb and put him down for the win I don't think anybody else would have predicted. Course record holder and defending champion Jan Frodeno, well, he's my second place. And then to complete that Olympic theme, I'm going to go with Alistair Brownlee just hanging on to third after what would have been some sort of kamikaze swim bike attack off the front of the race.
All right, so that's all the results in. Now over to the expert, Torsten Rad from TriRating. So what are the 2020 Kona results?
Should we start with the men's side, I guess, right?
Yes, do it.
No, I don't want to start with qualifiers. I'll just list what I came up with. I have Jan Frodeno in number 1, defending his title. In number 2, I have Patrick Lange. And in number 3, I have Sebastian Kienle. So all German podium.
So I sense slight biased results here.
Well, and I have 4th and 5th would be US, and Ali Brownlee is way down in number 18 on my list.
Oh, you're upset us here at GTN.
Javi just slightly in front of him. Yeah, I mean, you could have a lot of discussion about that. Patrick hasn't had a good race in a couple of years, but his Kona results were always up to snuff. So it'll be, well, I had a German podium last year, almost got it. But Jan defending his title, I guess, is the easy data pick.
I think he's hard to look past, isn't he? And Patrick is just exceptional at Kona, and Sebi, also previous champion, whatnot. Yeah, it's just I mean, yeah. I think you're safe on those predictions.
I mean,
how about on the women's
I could get one of the 3 at least.
How about on the women's side then? Come on.
Yeah, the women's side is a bit trickier. I'll start with number 3 because 3 is Lucy Charles for me.
Okay.
And then 1 and 2 is a very, very close race between Annie Haug and Daniela Ryf. So if I had to make an order based on what we have now, I'd have Annie like 10 seconds in front of Daniela. And there's just nothing to keep them apart at this point. If we were actually looking towards 2021, a lot of it would depend on who's going to have the better race during the season. Are they going to do an Ironman at all, or Challenge Road, or whatever they end up racing? Yeah, but it's really close between them.
Yeah, with that, I mean, is 10 seconds, would that be the closest ever first and second position at the Ironman World Championships ever?
I think we've had like 31 seconds or something between Dave Scott and Scott Tinley years ago. And I think we've had a closer. Well, the closest one was Kathleen McCartney in the Kona crawl. That was like 20 seconds or something like that to Julie Moss. But other than that, 10 seconds would be the closest in Kona. And of course, the race dynamics would be the fun part there, with Daniela usually being a bit stronger on the bike, and then Annie would have to run her down. I mean, that would be something to see But yes, I don't think we've seen the best run of Daniela in Kona just yet.
Yeah.
And it'll all be, I mean, as always, you can pick 20 names out of a hat and anyone would be able to at least podium in Kona. So it'll be interesting. Fun stuff that I have there would be going down the list. I mean, Teresa Adam has had really good results in her races. I mean, she'd be someone to be on the lookout for. And there's just so many names, as always, for Kona that you could look at. As a German, I would mention Laura Philipp, of course, Daniela Bleimehl, but then the US athletes as well. And it's just going to be fun stuff. And too bad we're not going to see it this year, but hopefully in 2021, we'll have a full season of racing next year. And then the really fun part to Kona. I wonder if they'll have 2 days of racing in Kona because there'll just be so many people who want to race there and be there. Maybe they can get the island for 2 days.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? God, a proper Kona weekend. Well, thanks ever so much. I'm not really sure there was a winner there. I think Fraser was on the money. There was sort of a Teresa Adam. He's got some good insight there, and well, we expect nothing less of Fraser, really. But thanks ever so much, Torsten, and we hope that we get to see you soon.
Well, always happy to speculate. Hopefully I'll get some data to work with soon, and then let's see you in Kona or at another race soon. Bye-bye.
It's time for Tri News, and I think it's quite obvious that we're missing Kona here at GTN. Well, if you guys are missing it as much as us and the pros, you are in luck because Zwift are teaming up with lots of the Ironman pros to bring 17 hours of Kona. You've got the opportunity to ride with the likes of Craig Alexander, Jan Frodeno, Lucy Charles, Sarah Crowley, Sebastian Keenley, well, the list goes on. Alistair Brownlee, I could go on all day, but basically these guys are all going to be on Zwift for 1 hour of these 17 hours, either cycling or running. Apparently it is at a social pace, so we can all join in, and you've got the option of which you want to do and when you want to join it. It starts at 7 a.m. Hawaiian time on October the 10th, so race day this Saturday, which is 6 p.m. UK time. All you need to do is sign up and get involved with the action.
Sounds awesome. Well, moving on, and ITU star from New Zealand, Hayden Wilde, not Halen Wilds, Hayden Wilde is going after one of the longest standing athletics records over in New Zealand. It is the 1 hour running record. Now, Hayden currently has to beat the record of 20 kilometres and 190 metres set by Bill Bailey back in 1963. That is a long-standing record.
Amazing.
Now, he's going to attempt to try and beat that at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland on Saturday the 10th of October. And he says he was actually inspired by his friend Matt Baxter, who actually competed in a 1 hour running race in the US just last month.
Wow, well, another news, Mark, I think you spotted this one. The winner of the 2019 Norseman Triathlon, which you obviously took part in, Hans Christian Tungsvik, I had to sort of chat that one out quickly, has gone after and achieved the Norwegian 200 kilometre time trial record. And he managed an impressive speed of 41.7 kilometres per hour average for a total of 4 hours, 49 minutes and 1 second. And from a recent challenge that we've done, we know just how hard that is, don't we?
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah, well, impressive stuff, Hans. Congratulations. And talking of extreme endurance accomplishments, we've been following Jonas Dykman in his attempt to do the world's longest triathlon round the world from Munich to Munich. I think we've mentioned it on the show before, but he has now started. He set off on the 26th of September. He's made it through the Alps and he is now, I think, in Slovenia, making his way by bike to Croatia. And we're looking forward to following his progress. It's a total of 120 Ironmans. You try and do that with a minimal CO2 footprint. And it's a total of 40,000 kilometres. Impressive target.
That's very impressive. Now, have you ever finished a race and then just wanted to see those photos from the event straight away? Have you? Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're all like, come on, waiting for them to
exactly.
upload a few days later.
And then sometimes, you're having to wait a day or two before they finally pop up. Well, a UK space company has launched the first ever real-time event photography service. So the UK Space Agency and the European Space Agency has invested £900,000 into a service that developers have been working on to basically use space-enabled photography to provide instantaneous real-time photography. So basically, as you're running around the course, Heather, photos will be taken of you and they'll be uploaded instantly to your smartphone, but not just to you, so to your friends, family,
Well, yeah, I'm not
anyone
sure. Like, I
supporting.
think I like to sort of be able to have them first before I like let other
Well,
people
true.
see them.
But it means that, say you're doing, a marathon somewhere, people would see you going through
That's
certain points.
mad,
Oh,
isn't
look,
it?
there's Heather, she's doing
Yeah.
really well, which is quite cool.
It's a huge investment for our sort of privilege to have photos at an event.
It is absolutely amazing. Now, the first project is going to see a few events in 2021 roll this out. So the first of which being the Cancer Research UK London Winter Run, Manchester Marathon, Tour de Yorkshire Ride, the Royal Windsor Triathlon for those triathletes
yeah.
out there, and numerous others. So this is awesome.
Yeah, it's really
stay
cool.
tuned.
In other news, pro cyclist Adam Hansen has only got a few weeks left in the pro peloton before he moves on. And guess where he's moving to? Yep, you guessed it. He's coming to triathlon with a focus on Ironman. He says he's extremely excited, I mean, as are we, to see him perform, but he's looking forward to being able to sort of experiment and do a bit of his own thing with his training, his equipment, trying different nutrition, and just, I guess, being part of a different team in a sense, not such a structured, tight-knit team.
Yeah, and actually it's interesting, Ironman isn't anything completely new to him, because actually at the end of the 2019 season, he flew almost straight to Florida to do his first Ironman, and apparently he was actually a triathlete before he was a cyclist, and back then he said actually cycling was his weakest discipline, and he joined a cycling team just to improve his cycling, and then just kind of carried on going. And it turns out, well, apparently he may be doing Ironman Portugal, which is pretty much a week after the Giro, so
Yeah,
very
that's
soon, yeah.
Wow.
And he's also famed for making these custom cycling shoes, and it is rumoured that he's trying to make some custom triathlon shoes too, so yeah, very exciting.
Our game.
Right, now for some tech news, and I think we need a drum roll for this, because this is brand spanking new, released today from Polar. It is their new Polar Vantage V2. I teased this on Monday in our tech video, but here it finally is. It's a development on their previous Vantage V, and well, it is noticeably light. It's just 52 grams, which is 21% lighter than the previous Vantage V due to its full aluminium casing. It's also got an improved battery life of up to 100 hours with multiple power options, and it's got some new additions of some smartwatch features. They've also got some all new advanced performance testing in terms of sports functions in there. So they've got some run testing, so it'll give you an approximate VO2 figure, it'll give you your threshold run pace, etc., etc. Also, an FTP testing function for the bike, so you can do 20, 30, 40, or even 60-minute FTP test, and that can all be tracked through its test hub on the Polar Flow app.
Well, it's also got a new recovery tool to test your legs, basically. It's called the leg recovery test, and it does involve you having to do 3 jumps as high as you can in a row. I mean, I would definitely fail at that today after our recent challenge we've just done. But yeah, it calculates that to then tell you how well you are recovered. It's also got some new tools to help you with your fueling, so telling you what type of, or how much you're burning and how to sort of optimize your fueling, including whether you're burning fats or not. It's got its Training Load Pro still and Recovery Pro, as well as a new advanced sleep tracking. And this comes in black, as you can see here. It also comes in green and a grey lime colour, and you can also change the straps, and it's currently retailing at just under $500.
And if you saw that not Kona Tech Tour video on Monday, you'll also heard me talking about a potential new bike from Scott. Well, it's not potential anymore, though unfortunately I don't have a photo for you, but I do have this.
Well, we understand that it's coming out for release this weekend, but at the moment we've just got this sort of silhouette that looks a little bit like an X-ray. And Mark, I don't know if you can spot any differences or anything that's standing out.
Well, yeah, no, definitely some big differences here between the old Plasma 5. So the first being this big gap between the front wheel and the down tube here. It's quite angular in shape, which is quite interesting. We've also got it looks like a storage compartment down here towards the bottom bracket between the down tube and the seat tube. And again, another one maybe behind the seat tube above the rear wheel. So kind of almost acting a bit like a fairing, a bit more material, act like a sail, again on that on the head tube there. And whilst we're up there, look at that straw. So it may mean there's an integrated hydration system on the front end. Maybe that's integrated, who knows. Oh, and also we can't forget about the disc brakes as well. That's obviously a new addition. So yeah, a lot of changes there, and I'm excited to see the actual bike, not just a silhouette.
Can't wait. And finally, on the tech front, the smart little device from Incus, which we've covered before, has just had a serious boost from none other than Alistair Brownlee. Well, those of you who don't know about Incus, it's basically a small device that you wear just at the top of your spine, and it tracks your movement in triathlon. It initially was for swimming. We look at all aspects of the stroke, but it's now running and I think going to be cycling soon, so it can look at your stride, and yeah, just so much data you can get from this.
Yeah, and we understand that Alistair's joined the company not only as an investor, but also a strategic advisor to hopefully help further and develop the Incus platform and the product, which is quite exciting. I mean, given Alistair's experience and knowledge in triathlon, I'm sure he will add a lot to that. And if you want to find out a little bit more on this Incus Nova device it tracks all sorts of data. Well, I actually featured that also in that Tech Tour video on Monday, so go over and check that one out.
On to race news, and we're keeping it short this week. We've just got two. The first one being the Xterra Molveno short track, and it certainly was a short triathlon race. Just 35 minutes the winning time for the men, 36:07 the winning time for the women. It was Ruben Rizafa from Spain who took the win, Lucas Cocha second, Filippo Rinaldi in third, and actually Arthur Serrieres, who's normally on the podium, he finished just outside in fourth. The women's race was won by Marta Mendito, second Sandra Meerhofer, and Solène Bouillon of France in third.
Well, over now to Huntington Triathlon, which is an Olympic distance event and typically attracts some top pros to it. And this year was exactly that. We had Jenny Seymour taking the win on the women's side, Meredith Kessler in second, and then Alyssa Dola in third. On the men's side, it was Justin Metzler that took the win, followed by Jason West, Matt Hansen in third, and Bradley Weiss coming in fourth.
It's photo time, and this week we're doing things slightly differently, sticking with the Kona theme, because we have some photos from a rather special athlete, none other than the Ironman 2019 World Champion, Anne Haug. Now, she has recently been in the wind tunnel. She's been testing at the GST wind tunnel in Emmenstadt, Germany. She's been trying out different positions and even some new clothing. And apparently they took her home to test her 2019 Kona winning position and compare that against her new position. And I think, Mark, you might even want to be changing your predictions, with all this testing that's going on.
Well, yeah. I mean, she does look very fast there as well, so maybe I did get it wrong. Well, now on to the caption comp. And last week we had a photo of the Ironman 70.3 Les Sables d'Olonne winner, Rudy von Berg. Had loads of great captions coming in. First of all, from Savage Poet said, might sound ridiculous. Ridiculous? I don't know how you even say that. But let's block the coughing to block the coffin. I thought that was good.
Yeah, we've got two similar ones here. One from Ty Martin, 2020 podium winners smile with their eyes. And on that same theme, Barrick says, remember, smile with your eyes. Smile with your eyes. Michael
said, the man in the iron mask. But the winner this week is from Jess Page, says Rudy von Berg or Rudy von Bergler. Very good.
It's just a nice little play with words there, isn't it?
But now for this week's caption comp photo, going back a couple of years actually to the Ironman World Championships when Heather and myself were out there trying to do a little bit of yoga on the coastline by the swim start. As you can see, Heather's far better than myself at yoga. But leave your captions in the comment section below.
Yeah, and then that brings us towards the end of this week's show. But as you guys guessed, this is Kona week, so there's still plenty more coming up that is Kona themed, including our Not Kona Pro interviews, which include Anne Haug actually. And then we've got our kind of Kona-related GTN challenge. Can't tell you much more than that, but keep an eye out on the weekend for that one.
Yeah, and don't forget to head on over to our GTN shop. I'm actually sporting a brand new tee.
You are? I've gone tropical though for Kona. We've still got these
a few
in stock.
new t-shirts in our shop and one that neither of us are wearing today. So do head on over there, check them out. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to GTN if you're not doing so already. And don't forget also to check out some of our videos from this past week related to Kona. We had a not Kona tech tour on Monday, and then just yesterday we had things you may not know about Kona. So do make sure you head on over and check those out.